What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We got a lot to break down. We got a lot to go over because we're going to go over just the markets in general, the dollar, the Russell, the NASDAQ, the S&P. We're going to go over the expected moves for every one of them. We're going to figure those numbers out, chart them out on the charts. We'll cover a couple of tech tickers, I'm sure. Tech is going to be quite the topic to talk about this week as well because we have a rate hike decision on Wednesday. So we're going to have plenty of volatility. I expect, as far as the expected moves, I bet we're pricing something in. But I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm 100% sure. I was going to say maybe 99, but I'm fairly confident we're going to be pricing in a bigger move. Real quick, did anybody buy volatility? Not really. So volatility didn't get bought up yet. It's kind of been trending down, but hasn't. And while we're on the VIX, guys, I don't care how low it is. And again, this has been brought up in the past couple streams of, is the VIX too low? I didn't even plan on this, but since we're here, the VIX is not too low. It can go lower. It's gone lower plenty of times. It's low to you because you probably started trading fairly recently during the pandemic, and you probably saw outrageous numbers. And now that we're kind of back down, you haven't seen this, so you're thinking, oh my gosh, is this it? If there's one thing I've for sure just seen more blown accounts than anything, it's people trying to play this. Now, it spikes up a lot. You might think it's a lot. This is a weekly chart, so it can hang out for a while. So they'll lose time in this. There used to be a leverage ETF called TVIX 3 times, and that thing would just decay and wither away, and people would hold it. They would hold it and buy more. Just keep buying more, just keep buying more, and then it delisted because it couldn't even perform. Is it too low? Breaks sub 10, I'll probably think it's a little low. Well, it's time to buy up some volatility. But in the meantime, I don't care about it. I don't zone it out because, as far as I'm concerned, every candle, I've been doing this for over 10 years, every candle is red or green, right? It's one of those. When the VIX is high, it's a big red or green candle. When it's low, it's a little red or green candle. That's all it means to me. It's like a light switch. We're on or off. Which one is it? So real quick, going over the dollar. Again, I am actually still short the dollar, so I'm long the British pound, US dollar. I am short USCAD. These are all Forex pairs, and I'm short the US dollar, Japanese yen, and all I'm doing is adding on. If we actually do get pumps up, just adding on. USCAD is my bigger position, and I'm kind of like, right now, if you ask me, as far as the setup goes, that is an actual, that you're probably more reason to be buying than to be short, but I've been short. So I'll be short. It comes up here, I'm going to add on more short, and hopefully by the time it breaks down, I'll have a decent position in. Again, this is my own personal goal, make $1 million just off of shorting the dollar, because I think the dollar is coming down. I think we're going to come back down. It's problematic up here at these levels, so I do think we're coming, hang on, let's get to the dollar, not USCAD. Anyway, here's the dollar. I think we're coming back down to these levels, coming back down to reality. And all I'm going to do is just keep adding on to my Forex plays. So the reason why I'm not all in is because if that dollar just shot up, something happened, I got to worry about the what if. And if we break up, that would devastate me. It would devastate my account. So I had to be mindful of where I'm at. But if we make it down, if we made it down here, for sure, I'm going to hit my goal. Hike up or down. I don't hike. I walk slow. It's funny. All right. Actually, let's pull up Think or Swim. Let's get these options, expected moves going. If you guys could, do me a huge solid. Hit that thumbs up button for me. That does help. Share it if you want to. Please share it. And then hit that subscribe button for me. Let's get this going. Now, since we're on Google, $3.09. So $4 for Google. Where's some other stocks we're in? Ford, we got 57 cents. That'll be asked a lot. NVIDIA, let's do that again. NVIDIA expecting 1820. Meta 980. Can't remember what it was. I think it was closer to $9 last week. Tesla's the biggest one. Now, if you're just catching this live stream, there's 2 notifications that went out today because I just did a video earlier about Tesla. There's been a lot of people talking to me, asking me about Tesla. We're expecting 1675 this week. That is a lot bigger considering the past month. Every week's been like $11, give or take. So that is huge. I gotta move fast through this because I gotta remember all these numbers. 713 for SPY. That's bigger. That was, were we around there? No, we were close, like $5. All right, QQQ. We got 850 and IWM 456. Let's chart these out. How you guys doing at Tesla, by the way? All right, IWM 456. What's up, everybody? That was the 16th, right? Close enough. By close enough, I mean on the dot. All right, 16th. So we started off new, brand new zone. So if you have the chart link and you're seeing, hey, there aren't any zones on this, let me know. We'll chart it out. If you're curious how to get my chart link, that's the Patreon link in the description. Tier 1, you guys will get my chart link. I post everything I do in an E-Trade account, which we just crossed over $1,000 profit for the year. We've taken one L. We've also taken one day trade. That was a 50% win. That was not our L. But we're finally starting to make some money to make some moves. Again, we started January 1st with $0. Put 150 in on Friday. So it's definitely been a lot slower. I will say that. QQQ was 848. Dang, close enough. Anyway, so click that chart link, and then you'll have the layout. So anything I have on my charts, you guys will see. Other than when I set alerts, if you guys see an orange dash line, so I set those alerts when my watch vibrates. That's when I buy. I don't sit there and stare at screens all day. That's mind numbing. But you guys, unfortunately, you guys don't get those, and I wish there was a way I could just turn those on. But you guys might get annoyed with my alerts. So maybe it's a good thing. Alright, and SPY was 713. SPY, so futures did gap up a little bit. And honestly, I think we're setting up for a volleyball play. I think they're just gonna run things up a little bit. Rate hike decision, we're gonna raise this thing 0.25. And then everyone's gonna be sad. Tech is gonna take a beat down. Did I just do the right one? Did I not do that right? Hang on. It's making me question things now. Okay, I did it right. 713. How's everybody's weekend going? I've been at a computer all day. I'm ready to wrap this up too. All right. Bought 10 440 SPY calls for $200 expiring Friday. Hope to make some money. If those are green, I would manage those. Tesla. Oh, the beautiful Tesla. Okay, so that's a red candle. That's confusing me because I almost wanted again, these candles look like this. That's the RSI overbought candle. So we actually gapped up, sold off. We're at 244 right now. That almost messed me. 1675 for this one. That is a bigger move than it usually has. What do you guys think Tesla's doing? Pulling back or... Oh my gosh. So the expected move has us coming right to this zone. These zones are not an indicator, guys. They're actually magic. They're magic because I draw them. Starting to get real choppy. Hopefully you're talking about a stock and not the stream. I'll lose my mind if a stream ever gets choppy again. Alright, that's just bolder because it's inside my zone so you can catch a lot easier. Up and away, Tesla. I know a lot of people think that. And every time I talk about Tesla, how high is this thing going to go? I'm like, man, this thing is high. It's up there. Guys, it's been our most impressive run. Now, we know the Tesla bulls can just go insane. And again, we're not going to spend a lot of time on Tesla because if you click on my channel, the video that came out right before this, pre-recorded, 11 minutes long, we talk about Kathy Wood buying it. We break down Tesla, all of it, and all of my thoughts, questions you should be asking yourself. So check this out. Yeah, new internet. Except for I got to get new computer parts now because apparently I can only have like 1 gig download and upload, which is far beyond what I had before. But the computer parts now are the ones that's limiting me. So I got to, where can I get like 5 gig chips so that I can like take advantage of it? Palantir had a bigger run percentage-wise, probably, yeah. But would not worry about that. The cool thing about Tesla, though, is it did change that trend from lower lows and lower highs to now a higher low and a higher high. So, a lot of good things. Just don't buy Intel. I mean, like either the Wi-Fi chip, the Ethernet chips. I need those chips. Can I get a, for my MacBook, there's a dongle that's USB-C. Is that fast enough? Like the Ethernet is 2 or 5 gig or whatever. But how fast is USB-C? Am I going to be limited there? Is it just going to say that? Anyway. I think Tesla will pull up a bit. We'll pull back a bit and up in the channel. Okay, hopefully it does. Again, so Tesla pulling back this 230 mark, pretty good buy. If Tesla could pull back to this 214, maybe 210-ish mark, I'm gonna have a decent chunk tossed in there. These questions are past my pay grade. Made money betting on boxing yesterday. So boxing's actually a thing in stocks as well, kind of where you go long and short, you put a stop on both and see which one, see how it pans out. Sounds a lot better on paper because a lot of times it'll just wick out, tag them both out, you'll end up taking 2 L's. You're the one on the Geek Squad. They didn't have USBC when I was on Geek Squad, by the way. All right, let's rock and roll. Let's get into the markets right now. As far as the Russell, jumped up, hit that zone, found some sellers right where we thought they'd be. So right now the question is, we had a green open. The question is right now, this rate hike decision. Basically, how this is probably going to react to the markets. Imagine the stock market's about to have an earnings release during hours. They're going to rate hike. I think they're going to rate hike. I think it's going to be 25 basis points, and I don't think anyone's pricing that in. A lot of people are pricing in nothing, so if they do 0.25, shock in the world, we're coming down. If they do nothing and they keep it the same, I'm almost betting we still have a little bit of red. Because we were pricing in nothing. And then, so what's the good catalyst after that, maybe? We've had a very impressive run up. So I think a pullback is coming. So the interesting thing is, I think once they pause, they should probably never do it again. Like, they should never raise. Like, we're raising up. Once they pause, the next step needs to be flat or down. There is no turning it back on like Canada did. That's worst case scenario. If we pause, let's say we stay paused for a couple of sessions, and then we raise rates again, we're going to decouple from the Feds, and we're jumping off a cliff. So you want to see the markets go nuts and Michael Burry really be active on his Twitter? Watch. If that happens, that's what's going down. So I think we raise it one more time. Maybe then we'll talk about a pause. 50 basis points. Imagine that. Yeah, we'd be one. My dollar short would be nuts. It would be really red, and the markets, man, would be red. Now, personally, I'm going to position myself in a couple of short positions. Take this with a grain of salt, because the reason I'm doing this is because everything I'm in long just keeps going up. So I kind of just can't keep buying more. We're just not at good prices. I'd rather wait for a pullback to buy anything. I don't want to jump on the tracks because we are just, well, not with too much at least. We're just trending up too nicely. I think we're a little bit over bought territory, but every time we do, we kind of pull back and chill, and we continue up again. I want to position myself in case we do get that surprise. I want to probably grab, if I'm in ES contracts, I'll grab some MES contracts to hedge. I'll eventually be long and short the same product. But I'd like to have some futures contracts short, or ideally I'd like to have some NQ contracts short, because if we surprise, Tech is going to take the beat down. It's going to be like taking a bat to the back of Tech's head. It's falling fast. And instead of trying to manage and get out, I'd rather be riding that train south. So I think it's worth catching the knife there as far as risk to reward potential. Give me 1 second. Sorry, my daughter's down here, so I had to give her a message. Forward going 3 deviations this week. Better not. All right, so as far as Tech goes, it's up there. It'll be interesting to watch if we do the rate hike how financials are going to react to this. Financials will likely lead the way as far as Russell goes. We're kind of in this horizontal box right here. Now we've pushed up and we've stayed right here. So we found some sellers, gap down, tried it again. So each time we hit this box, we found plenty of sellers. Winnie the Pooh's holding it on strong right here. So breaking above that would be bullish. I have expect to reject and kind of come back down. 50 full Tech beatdown, 25 basis points, small beatdown. Let's go with 25 is a beatdown, and 50 is a full just TKO, a Tech knockout. Like we might as well go back to the Stone Ages. All right, let's get on to Tech. As a matter of fact, all right. As far as Tech, so here's the interesting thing of why I don't want to go short and just jump on these tracks. We got overbought. Now, I say this all the time, when stocks push up like this, they pull over or they pull back. And right now, Tech is literally just pulling over, just like NVIDIA. You guys remember that? Who jumped on the NVIDIA short train and got ran over every time? NVIDIA just kept going up. The second it showed you a glimpse of hope and went sideways, it just continued right on up after. So if you hadn't learned your lesson from that, maybe you don't have to want to learn this lesson again right here. So watching out for that. Now, the cool thing about this is we've pushed up so much that now when we pull back, I'm for sure a dip buyer. We're talking about a trend change right here. But you can really judge how strong something is by the bears when they show up. So we need the bearish people. We need people short in the markets. We need to see just how much they can command. We'll see how scared people are. So when this does pull back, even with the 50 basis points, I might rethink this. 25 basis points, I'm still looking for a dip buy. But for now, I want the bear show. I want some red candles to show up with a little bit more red candles after. I want to see a solid pullback to let me know where the strength actually lie. You know, if we're playing a game of tug of war, did they just lose their footing and the bulls think they're winning and then they just get their footing and yank that thing back, or we just going for a victory run? Do you think selling in the money calls is a good idea since they're going down? Do I think selling in the money on Tesla? No, I don't think selling in the money calls are good. I've done that. I'm in those calls, and Tesla just kept going up, so I need Tesla to pull back just to even manage that. Is ARK a good buy for a long term? My personal opinion, no, it's not. So Kathy Wood has already blown a couple of firms. She's blown them up. ARK K is her third one, so hopefully third time's a charm. I'm in the 105s, Cody. For like next year at this point, or yeah, it's next year. I don't think it's August of next year. But anyway, no, I don't really care for ARK Invest or Kathy Wood. If there's one I think that actually might do well is the ARK G. And I don't know if there was one I was going to just roll the dice on. That's their genomics. With DNA and stuff like that, I think with the way tech is going, just technology in general, the world's going to change in the next few years. And when they get any kind of sequencing down, that'll be the curing cancer. They're making real changes. Not the NyQuil kind where we can calm your symptoms down. Real changes. Hopefully they've done enough research to be in one of those companies, because the company that gets that is going to go mad and make Tesla look like nothing. So I would just hope with their researching and their power, maybe they got the heads up, maybe they're in on that one. So if there's one I think that's worth, it would be the ARK G. As far as ARK K, no. Kathy Wood thinks Roku is an innovative stock. Like, we don't see eye to eye. So I would rather, if I like something that's in it, if I wanted to buy ARK, I would pull up its holdings. I'd see how they're doing things. I'd still buy each individual ticker myself. Did you write that plan down for your kids to roll that up in 110, 20 years? Yes. Do I like Plug Power? I don't have it. I don't know. I have to look at it. Do you have anything for the euro? I bounce back and forth between the euro USD and the USDCAD, but right now I do not. All right, so as far as tech goes, this is the one I'm watching for some volatility. Right now, it's got to just stay the course. And if we base out just like we did right here, then I'm just going to start buying. And it looks like we've already started that. So we found some buyers here and here. We hit if we sell off, if they announce at 25 basis points and we sell off and hold right here, and we hold, I'm going to start buying at this level again for the next tick up. So as far as your expected moves, we saw up that level just fine. Breaking that, we might start going 2 standard deviations. As far as the S&P goes, this is where I think the volleyball play is coming intact. I think we're going to jump up all green come Wednesday. They announce a rate hike, and then we sell off and we're going to reject out of this zone. The cool thing about that, though, is that is going to be probably officially making me wrong. If you guys have been here for a while, a long time ago, someone asked me, is this the bottom? And I said, if this is the bottom right here, then this is the top. And we're going to be here for at least the remainder of this year. Now, I did say, like, if we beat this just by a little bit, I'd even give it to this zone right here. Not to walk anything back, but if we make it right here, cool, we made it, but did we really change anything? If that's a hard rejection, now if we get comfortably above this, then clearly that was wrong. But I'm still of that right here. What I'm looking at right here is a real charting platform, by the way. Not 180 days, not the 50, no, I guess 52-week high is fine. Not the year-to-date, because here's the year-to-date. Everyone's thinking, oh, we're up. Stocks are doing good. A lot of promoters are talking about that because, well, they're down. But it's cool they can talk about year-to-date that they're up. But really, if you looked at the markets in general, we've been in this range since May of last year. So you can talk about all the stuff you want. Year to date, you can just really cherry pick stuff, and that's really cool. But we've been in this range for a while. So these levels right here aren't anything new. They're not anything just phenomenal, just nothing to be a fanatic about. It's cool. It's cool that we're up here. It's cool that we're kind of pushing up again. But as far as that goes, I don't know why that's bugging me so much. I think a lot of people are just talking about it the year to date. And I think they're really skewing just how red they are, because I know a lot of these YouTubers, even the ones I've watched, they started buying inside right up here. So they're probably still down, maybe break even. So they love to just say, oh, year to date, because it's, again, show what they're up. You really think we haven't seen the bottom yet on SPY? No, I think we have. With this push up right here, I do think we have seen the bottom. Now we can get incredibly red. That's a long ways away. So that's SPY at 350. Now I actually thought 320 was going to be the bottom. When we were still headed down, I thought the bottom, where I was whole account and everything, was 320. I thought that's where we were getting in. If you remember back here, we had this like volatility base right inside. So here's your Rona highs. Now the Rona spike actually started before. Everyone thinks it happened right here. They actually pushed it up and then they shot it down. Just a typical volleyball play. But then we got this volatility box. We played this back and forth game, and that's honestly where I thought we'd hit the bottom of that, not the top. So that's why I thought the bottom was going to be down here. But I think we have gone high enough that we're probably not going to make new lows. Putin would have to go off his rocker, lose a few marbles. Kim Jong would have to go nuts. He'd have to fire a missile our way, not just to like the water, and say, look what we can do. We need to see something, something you don't have in your book, not on your bingo chart, for us to make new lows, I think. And it's not worth really planning for those, because you end up looking like Michael Burry. You'll talk about the next 400 crashes out of 2. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I do think we probably have seen lows. I think we're going to be range bound, is what I think. I think we're gonna see some pretty good ups, some pretty good downs. I think investors are gonna have a whole lot of nothing at the end of this year. I think traders are gonna make a lot of money this year. Anybody can play the up and down, or up, skip the red, play the up again. Sounds really cool on paper. Don't get me wrong. It's easier said than done. But traders, experienced traders, are gonna do a lot in this market, where investors, I don't think, will. All right, as far as the S&P goes, I think we're going to push this thing up a little bit and then sell off. What I'm not interested in, so I like to take the opposite play. I call it the volleyball spike, right? They set it and then spike it down. I'm interested in taking that. I'll take that short this week. What I'm not interested in is we sell off this week. If we sell off before, typically I'm thinking, oh, somebody wants cheap calls. This is the manipulation. I think somebody might have already got the news. They paid the right people off. They had lunch with Pelosi. Who knows? And they're getting out of their position slowly, but still with some urgency. So if we start selling off, I might just jump on that bandwagon and call it good. So how I do things is I'll play that trend, and when my position's in the green, I'll put my stop in the green, and then I'll just keep trailing it. So likely by the time we get to that rate hike decision, my shorts will already be green with the stop in the green. So then I'll have to worry about during rate hike decision time is the volatility right there just knocking me out, or maybe a bad fill. Like it'll tag, fill up a little bit higher. Either way, a much better position, I think, to be in, as opposed to just trying to play the volatility after. I do like to front run the risk. So that's what I'm looking into. Without to fear monger or anything like that, I'm looking for some kind of short entry during the rate hike decision. I do think we're going to see red this week. But again, not to be bearish. It's just because I have a bunch of bullish plays, and I don't want to just watch all that evaporate. They'll start tagging out for sure because I'm trailing stuff. But right now, I do want to have some kind of gain to the downside. Someone did ask, it was Armin. What's up, man? My thoughts on Amazon and Google. Well, in tech in general, tech is not going to be looking good. I do want to keep an eye out there. We do guys zone this out. So right there. These are all the levels I'd be. So we're running into a zone right now. So right now, in theory, you'd be shorting that more than anything. But we hit that, found some sellers. We're already testing it again. Not the strongest short to be jumping onto. But given the week and the volatility I think we're going to run into, I wouldn't be jumping in long. If we could catch a dip buy, where are we at? Man, you almost have to chart out this zone right there. We did play some back and forth, back and forth. We actually went horizontal quite a bit almost right here. Once we got below, we tested below us for a while. But yeah, even this, let's just grab all of this. Played the back. Oh, so here's a W people love to play. I don't know, it's a music note. Anyway, so it looks like we're very prominent levels, all three of these. It's actually a pretty easy one to chart out. I would have an alert right here. But if we start selling off into that and then there's the rate hike decision, I'm not buying that. I would wait for the 103 mark right there. Thoughts on Bitcoin? High-tech hap. What's happening, man? You subscribed? I guess you got to be to chat, don't you? Appreciate you guys. Give me 1 second. SoFi thoughts. Is it $3 yet? When it was at $12, I said it's going to $3. That's when I'll buy. I'll check it out real quick. Any other tickers I should break down real quick for you guys before I get to my mentorship group? Google. Ooh, man. Outside of tech this week, Google kind of looks like a dip buy. So Google just pushed up, overbought, like mad, right? And then sideways. It's gearing up for the next run up. Look how we were overbought. Now we're not overbought. We haven't done anything. Haven't gone anywhere. We went sideways. So we're letting those indicators cool off, and then we're going to start sending it up again. But if that breaks, things might not be looking too sharp. I gotta say, I'm gonna be watching this level because people are gonna be talking about a gap fill after that. It was a pretty decent level back here as well. Then if that breaks, that'll at least be a decent support. If that breaks, we're talking about the gap fill to here, which I don't know if I would zone out, but I would at least, if there's a level I'm keeping an eye on, it's that right there. And that's what I'd be looking for. If that level breaks, I would just watch out for that. But right now, Google's looking good. The cool thing about Google is, was it Bard? Remember the one that sucked? Like, what's your response to ChatGPT? They're like, we got this one. Doesn't know a dang thing. It's wrong. We're an AI company. We have all the information in the world, and we couldn't even demo something properly. Remember, everybody just laughed at Google. But I think that really lit a fire under them, because now they're like, okay, we become the laughing stock overnight. Now we need to become a powerhouse again. And they're taking the AI stuff, what seems like they're taking it seriously now. And it's starting to show up. So if it breaks up, that's the next level I'd be looking at. Palantir and SoFi and Bitcoin. Let's do SoFi real quick. Oh, we almost made it to the $3 mark. Again, when I said $3, was it really 12 or was it 14? I thought it was up here, and I said, now I'll buy it later at 3. Everything about this looks like a pump and dump right now. Maybe things have just turned around. I would keep an eye on this level right here. Ooh, so we tried. Ultimately, it did hold. And then it looks like if there's a level I'm interested in, it's actually these right here. And where I start these off is what drew my attention to that level. That's why I don't have the boxes extended all the way to the left as well. So you guys can see just kind of everything that's inside that zone, what makes it up. All right, where's Winnie the Pooh showing up next? Right there. Breaking above that, I'd say we're probably rock and rolling. Even hitting that, pulling back, making a higher low right here, then pushing up, but then I'd be bullish. Again, not one I'm really just wild about. Those would be the levels. Bitcoin. I'm short the dollar, so hopefully Bitcoin can continue to rise off that. I haven't kept up on the Binance news. Binance controls a lot. So I'm very curious as to what's going on with that, with the SEC as well. If there's a level I'm curious about now, not that this will affect I don't trade Bitcoin, I just buy it. I wouldn't want it breaking that level. Anything technically speaking, getting down to that level, just fine with me. But I buy Bitcoin. So anybody that doesn't know, I haven't said it in a while, maybe if you're new to my channel, I buy Bitcoin and Ethereum weekly. And how I do it actually is it's an automatic buy. Bitcoin, Ethereum, savings account. I got money going into all three. So it buys it weekly. It kind of keeps my average wherever it's at. But when we get the real dip buys, then I'll roll the savings account in. It keeps my average it keeps my cost basis a lot lower. I found it to be a lot better than just buying it every week in general. Because once you'll see this, if you start dollar cost averaging into things, I laugh because some traders love to say they dollar cost average, and really it's just because they're just averaging down because they suck. But once you do that, you find your price just really quits moving. You need more and more just to move it. So in the normal fluctuations, you're going to just bake in your cost basis, and then it kind of is what it is. Where if you do it my way, and I guess that is the way, the reason why I do it, I think it makes the most sense, is because you take those huge chunks and put it in later when it's a real dip buy. Not just trending down, but the real dip buys really helps out a lot. But I guess I'd watch these levels right here for now. Bullish above, bearish below. Now, the reason why I like Bitcoin, though, was because once I saw there was algorithms and everything trading it, that means the big boys are in it. So that's ultimately what really got me back into Bitcoin. If you want, you can watch the video I put out about it. It was right here. Yeah, if you want to watch that, go to my channel right here. It had just broke 16, or was around 16,000, because somebody laughed and said I was buying the peak, and then it went to, 70. Anyway, if I say I'm buying it, you should probably just take notes. Just got an Acrobat ad. Adobe's bullish. It's funny. All right, Palantir. Let's do Palantir and Carvana real quick. Yeah, Palantir, get wrecked. All right, Palantir made me a little bit nervous because we were, this is in the E-Trade account, and we had the 17 sold on it, and those were in the money for a second, so they expired. Cody's probably about to hit me with what we're in, too. Give me 1 second. I don't know if we're in anything right now or not. I think I sold the 16s. I almost sold the 1550s. I do know that. We sold the 17s again. Never mind. So I almost sold the 1650s. Ended up selling the 16s, the 17s. Jesus, sorry. We are in the 17. We collected $17, selling the 17 strike call for this Friday. So for every 100 shares you have, you could have sold that, collected $17 per contract, and as long as Palantir stays below 17, you just get to keep all that money and do it again. So I look at my shares as like a property, a unit, and now I'm going to collect rent on that unit. Why have all that if you're not going to collect it? You just have vacant units everywhere. Hopefully, yeah, the property grows, but you can at least collect some rent while it does that. You rolled the 17s, I rolled to the 1650s. Yeah, and I was actually almost there, James. I was this close to just doing the 1650s, but it was like $30 too, and I was like, I'll go a little bit less. Ford is the one that we're gonna be in trouble on, because I sold the third. Now in my trading account, 1350s and 13s. In the E-Trade account, we have just the 13s sold on this. So Ford went on a run. I was not expecting it to break that horizontal channel. So that being said, we sold the 13s. We collected that money on it, so we're good. But if Ford actually expires above 13, we're going to sell our shares at $13 a share. Now our cost basis is lower, and we do this every week on Ford. We have 3 contracts in the E-Trade account on this one. So what's that? 29? No, what did we collect? No, I don't know why I'm thinking 29. The last Ford we sold was actually only $9. So it was about $30. We're gonna roll those. I do think this will pull back. It'd be amazing, honestly, if it just pulled back below 13s. We didn't have to. If tomorrow's green, I'm looking to roll that position while it is green. I'm not gonna let these shares go. If I do, now my original plan was to just have 200 shares of Ford. We have 300. I might let 100 go. As of now, I think we're just gonna we're gonna roll them. What I don't want to do is make a managing decision right now at its peak. I don't want to make any emotional decisions. I want to now, if it pulls back just a little bit or bases out, it's time to manage it. It's time to, that tells me we're going to continue. Right now, I think we're a little overbought. We could just pump, kind of come right back down. There was no need to even be worried. But that being said, we have till this Friday. We got to make that decision. I'll take advantage of a green day. Now, futures already opened up green, so if we actually gap up in the morning, I'll try to roll them there because that's when those calls are the most juiced up, unless we just continue to roar. But assuming we do start to pull back, I want to take advantage of a green day while it's there. You reckon Palantir would come back down to the $11 range? If it does, it's a straight up pump and dump. So we gotta see. Palantir hasn't really had a pullback yet, so we really need to gauge it that way. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to get to my mentorship group. If you guys are curious about that, that's the Patreon link down below. Unless you're into the course type. The teachable link, if you guys do get the trading suite that will come with for now, it is limited, by the way. That will come with lifetime to the mentorship. So if you guys buy the trading suite, you guys will get an email from me, or you can jump out, send me a direct message on Discord, because I have to get you access to that. But anyway, that'll have everything. And the mentorship's where I go live every night and talk about stuff. Anyway, I got to get there. Everyone else, you guys will see me Tuesday for sure. Mentorship, don't go anywhere because we're going live right now. Have a good one, everybody.